Hello and welcome to another V's Cards video. My name is Veronika Cuic and I'm an independent Stamping Up demonstrator in Australia. And in this video, I'll show you how to craft 2 quick cards in under 10 minutes using a fabulous punch bundle. Before we begin, here is a quick look at the products we'll be using for today. I'll have a link in the description below with the full product list. And the star of the show, crafters, is the Heartfelt Hexagon Bundle, which includes a stamp set plus a punch which coordinates perfectly. For any bundles, you receive 10% discount by shopping 2 or more products using the one product code. Firstly, we're going to adhere the designer series paper onto the card front, and then I'm going to add the ribbon. Now normally I put the ribbon around the designer series paper, but this time we're going to try something different. Just in case you forget, it's good to have a backup. Rather than just cutting off the ends, allowing for it to fray, I've decided I was going to fold the ends behind itself, and that way it's got a nice smooth edge, and then adhering it to the designer series paper. I love using the mini glue dots for ribbons. It means that I don't have to worry about any sticky wet glue drying and holding on to it to keep it from coming off the paper. And you'll see in the next shot you won't be able to tell the difference between the one where I've adhered around the designer series paper and where I've stuck it on top. Have a look. Now it's time to stamp and punch. I'm going to show you what you need to do for a stamp which is hollow on the inside to avoid warping it in shape, because if it gets out of shape it won't be in line with the punch. Thin border hollow stamps are actually quite wobbly and could easily warp in shape if you're not careful. I'm going to deliberately stretch it one way so that it's not a perfect shape, and then when it comes to punching it you'll notice that it's uneven because the actual stamp has been warped. I'll then show you how to actually place it on your workbench and then add the block onto it, and you should have a good shape. So here's a tip to keep a hollowed stamp in shape. Place it on your bench top and allow for it to move into its original place. Then add the block and you should be fine. We'll compare the shape after it's been punched from the warped one to the one that's gone back to its original shape. It's great to save money by using smaller cardstock or scrap cardstock when you're stamping and punching, but sometimes you could get it wrong. I've underestimated the width or the length of the shape, so I had to improvise. I couldn't fit in the flowers and I had to use another punch. Luckily I had one that would fit perfectly. While it makes sense because it's practical to use a bundle which has the stamp set as well as the punch, it doesn't mean you can't try other punches to see how it would look and fit around your stamped image. So have a play around and experiment. I'm doing quite a lot of stamping and punching because I want to do 2 cards, and I'm happy to have some spares when I'm finished as well, so that I can make some quick cards in the future. So there's a tip for you. Have some stamped and punched out sentiments ready to go for future cards. I wonder if you do that already. Let me know in the comments section below. Now I'm punching out some blank cardstock because I'm going to stamp after it's been punched, so I have a better idea of where to put the flowers to decorate it for the first card. I'm going to stamp things a little bit differently to the card that I'm copying. I'm going to use 1st and 2nd generation stamping for this particular card. I like to change things up sometimes. Now I'm arranging the layers of my card front. I'm going to adhere the first 2 background ones with using liquid adhesive, then I'm going to pop up the centre one. For this card I'm going to pop up the sentiment hexagon by using dimensionals. I like to avoid using the dimensionals on the ribbon, so I'm going up and down on that cinnamon piece. I find that the dimensionals stick better on the cardstock or paper than on the ribbon. I'm going to score a score line at 1 1/4 inch across the second card. Does this fancy fold ring a bell? That's right, I've used it in a previous video. I'll put the link in the description below. I'm now using my bone folder to burnish the score lines so they're nice and crisp folds. Next, I'm adhering my 2 strips of pattern paper. I'll have one on the inside like my previous card, but I'm going to change it up a bit and have the second one actually on the flap instead of above it or behind it. To border this card with a shadow effect, I'm going to punch out the hexagon shape in 2 different blue shades, one in Misty Moonlight and the other in Night of Navy. And then I'm going to cross it over to make it look like there's a shadow on the hexagon part. But you'll notice that I put the Night of Navy where the plain paper is so that it stands out. And then I use the Misty Moonlight one at the bottom of the hexagon. I will also pop up the sentiment by using dimensionals and make sure that you place them in the centre of the hexagon so that they don't show up at the back of the card. Here I'm using retired embellishments. It happens to be something that's closest to me while I'm filming. I'll give you some suggestions of the current ones you can use for this card in the description below. In fact, in the description below I'll have 2 links, one each of the different cards that I'm crafting today, which will take you to their product lists. And if you're in Australia and you want to purchase the items in the product list, you simply need to copy it to your cart. And I want to thank you for shopping with me. Cheers. To finish off card 1, I'm going to use some bling. Now this is retired, but I'll have some other examples of what you could use on the screen and also in the product list. We're almost at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like it, please take a moment to like it. And I invite you to subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. Thanks again, happy crafting, and see you in the next video.